Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 29th August 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 10 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC point of view. So actually this Sunday's newspaper is important to cover environment and ecology and also even science and technology related news. Okay. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first of all which are the topics we are going to discuss in this lecture. So if you see first article, we are going to discuss about visa cancellations. Okay, amid visa cancellations and uncertainty regarding Afghanistan students who are located in India or who are present in India. So here it is a one of cause of concern for students actually. So what are the problems which are facing by students? We are going to discuss that. So that will be important from GS paper to under international relations. And next topic we are going to discuss about hydropower projects in Himalayas. So actually in yesterday's lecture we studied like 9 projects they got not from our government. So again this article which mainly came up in today's paper which is giving some analysis regarding that. So we are going to discuss that and that will be important from our environment and ecology point of view. And next one is about Gaganyaan mission. So actually Gaganyaan mission is in news mainly here astronauts when they are going to Russia mainly to give their measurements to get ready their space suits. So this will be important from science and technology. So here we are also going to discuss about what is this mission also. And next one it is about Zyco COVID-19 vaccine, Zyco D vaccine. So this vaccine this article mainly says that this vaccine is a very much safe and it is a 3-dose vaccine. So we are going to discuss details about this vaccine, okay? And this will be mainly important from our GS paper to under health. Now let us talk about next topic. Next topic we are going to discuss about northernmost landmass which mainly identified by scientists. So this will be important from our geography point of view which comes under GS paper 1. And next topic it is about US Navy ships. They are mainly seen in Taiwan Strait. So because of this China mainly says that it is mainly having some threats regarding peace and security in that region. So that will be important from international relations which comes under GS paper 2. So here we need to see the map of where this Taiwan Strait is present. And next one is artificial intelligence predict ice loss. Okay, so this article mainly talking about ice loss we are going to expect in near future and this is mainly using by artificial intelligence. So we can see there will be high accuracy. So this will be important from science and technology which comes under GS paper 3. And next one it is about storms across Europe. So due to climate change here, so we are seeing there is a vast range of impacts. Okay, we already saw there was heat waves, heat dome like conditions, and even there is increasing melting of glaciers. So recent study it also said that, and there is also increasing of glacial lakes and there is increasing the sea level. Okay, so these are some impact that is seen. So one impact of climate change is storms across Europe. So this will be important from our environment and ecology point of view and this will comes under GS paper 3. And next one it is about BCG vaccine. So actually this vaccine which is mainly given to prevent TB. So why this vaccine is in news? Because now this year we are going to celebrate the centenary celebrations of this BCG vaccine. So for sure you can expect a question regarding this BCG vaccine in upcoming prelims. So this will be important from health which comes under GS paper 2. And next topic we are going to discuss about lone fruit flies. So in this lone fruit flies, so mainly one study mainly conducted mainly to see what will be the changes in the behavior whenever these flies they were isolated from their group. So this will be important from science and technology. Okay, so why this article is important? Because so we can also see the same type of behavior in humans also. Okay, so now let us try to see these topics. Okay, so these are some important topics we are going to discuss now. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first topic now. Title says amid visa cancellations, uncertainty haunts 1,500 Afghan ICCR scholars. So this article mainly says that there is visa cancellations and as well as there is uncertainty regarding already students who are pursuing their graduation or their education in India. So this article will be important from international relations, which comes under GS paper 2. And now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that Indian government which is mainly didn't say anything or silent regarding future of thousands of Afghan scholars. So this is one important cause of concern now you are facing. So if you're talking about some important details, it mainly says that so as part of program which launched by Ministry of External Affairs in year 2005. So in year 2005, Ministry of External Affairs came up with a program. So under this program, we are providing scholarship, okay, scholarship for new term, okay, scholarship for students actually. So every year new term mainly begins in month of August. Okay, now August has been going to be end within 2 to 3 days, right? So there is nothing clarity regarding so what will be the scholarship program, whether it will be continuing or whether we are going to discarding this or whether we are going to suspend this scholarship program this year. Okay, so because of this, it is one of a cause of concern for many students. And even from government side, there is no response whether visa, okay, whether visa and stipend provided by ICCR, which is helpful for living expenses, that will be continued or not. So there is no clarity which is given from government side. And if you're talking about some cause of concerns, so whenever these students are returning to Afghanistan, so whenever if these students now who are living in India, whenever they will move to Afghanistan, the Taliban, they will kill them for sure, because Taliban, they have access to all kinds of databases and they are literally going door to door. So it is one of cause of concern for students who are in India. And about 400 other students who are at present in the middle of their studies in India, so they are also facing the same fear. And in this context, Ministry of External Affairs had written to Ministry of Home Affairs formally, mainly to seek guidance for a total of more than 1,500, that is 1,500 Afghan students. So even according to diplomats, they mainly says that so the government move, it could affect the future of prestigious scholarship program. Okay, so the future of this prestigious scholarship program will be mainly affected. So this is according to diplomats. Okay, so here this scholarship, why it is important, because so this scholarship, it is one of the major source of goodwill for India among Afghans, right? So whenever it is affecting means it will also affect the relationship between India and Afghans also. So this is just of this topic and I hope it is clear. Now let us try to see next topic. Title says, why are hydropower projects in Himalayas risky? So even in our yesterday's lecture we said about background regarding these projects. This article will be important from our environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So if you are talking about some background regarding this article, as you know here, if you are talking about this is Indo-Australian plate, okay, Indo-Australian plate which mainly moved towards northward and hit this Eurasian plate. So what happened because of this plate movement, okay, so because of this northward movement of Indo-Australian plate towards Eurasian, finally they hit together. So because of this Indo-Australian plate, which mainly heavier than compared to that of Eurasian plate, so because of this Indo-Australian plate mainly submerged and led to formation of mountains, and as well as whenever there are many sediments in this Tethys Sea here, so because of movement of plate towards northward, that led to eruption, or that led to mainly lead to formation of Himalayas. So even now, whenever this Indian plate which is moving towards it, that will leads to high pressure in this Himalayan region. So because of this region mainly comes under highly earth prone area. So as you all know that not only earthquakes that is mainly seen in this Himalayan region, but even they are very much prone to landslides. To understand this, already we studied about landslides and what is this everything in our earlier lectures when we discussed about this Himachal Pradesh landslide event. So even recently what happened, there are many landslides that happened in this Himachal Pradesh actually, and that led to death of number of people and even damage to number of transport vehicles also. Right, so what happened in this ecologically sensitive area, in this earthquake prone area, in this landslide prone area, whenever we are going for building of any projects, so what is the feasibility of this project? So this is the one question we need to think about, right? And now let us try to see context. The Environment Ministry in an affidavit which mainly placed in the Supreme Court earlier this month. So here Environment Ministry, whichever the thing affidavit which mainly placed, so which mainly said that here government has permitted 7 hydroelectrical power projects. So here why? Because so these projects are already in advanced stages of construction, so we need to give permission for those construction of those power projects. So this is the thing which mainly said by ministry. So if you are talking about details of this article, it mainly says that so aftermath of Kedarnath floods which happened in year 2013. So in this Kedarnath flood that led to killing of about 5,000 people. So after this Kedarnath event, okay, after this Kedarnath disaster especially, Supreme Court of India halted development of hydroelectric power projects in Uttarakhand. Okay, and next one is, so later on we came up with a 17-member committee, and this committee led by environmentalist Ravi Chopra. And this committee mainly said that there are 23 projects. There are about 23 projects. They would have irreversible impact on the ecology of the region. So whenever we are going for developmental projects, especially building of dams in this region, so we will be having some negative impact on our environment, ecology, etc. So at that time already 6 out of those 23, so 6 private project developers, they already had cleared for construction before this Kedarnath tragedy, and here government said that they will be allowing already because already those projects they had been cleared. And next one is, later on Supreme Court directed a new committee to be set up for examining the important cases regarding that, and this committee led by Vinod Tare of Indian Institute of Technology Kanpur. And here this committee concluded that projects they could have a significant environmental impact. And later on in 2015, Environment Ministry set up another committee which mainly led by BP Das, and this committee said that all 6 projects with design modifications they need to be done. So this is about history. And now let us try to see what are the challenges. So if you are talking about challenges, so here in this Himalayan region, it is very much prone to landslide, and even we are seeing land degradation, deforestation, desertification, and glacial lake outburst flood. So these are some of the common critical environmental issues in this Himalayan region. And also even Himalayas, they are facing a various major challenges, right? And if you are talking about dams and hydropower projects, they have brought mainly prosperity to the region, and also they also brought sufferings. And during the construction of major power projects, dams, etc., so they will go for blasting, right? So without blasting they cannot go for building of these dams in this, especially in the hilly and rocky terrain. So whenever they are going for blast, they will also use some heavy machinery for construction in these sites. And whenever they are going for construction, they will also go for felling of trees, and that have damaged these fragile hills. So because of this, they will be highly prone to landslides. And so there are about 932 power projects in Himachal Pradesh, include mini, small, and as well as large and mega projects. These projects are in Kinnur, Chamba, and as well as Shimla districts. So while there is a plenty of evidence on how these calamities, they are not natural, but such evidence is not considered in policy decisions. So this is one of important cause of concern now. So this is a gist of this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says Indian pilots Indian pilots to return to Russia soon for stitching customized space suits. So if you see here in this image, you can understand. So these are some customized space suits. So this will be important from GS paper 3 under science and technology. So now let us try to see this topic. So this topic will be important from GS paper 3 point of view. So here you need to remember what is this Gaganyaan mission also. Now let us try to see this topic. First let us see context. So if you see context, March this year 4 Indian Air Force officers, they completed a year-long training in Russian Space Academy. So it comes under the part of India's Gaganyaan human space flight program. So India, that is ISRO. ISRO mainly planning to this Gaganyaan. Gaganyaan, it is a human space flight program. So mainly to conduct this program, our Indian Air Force 4 officers, they completed a year-long training at this Russian Space Academy. So it will soon return to, okay, so these people soon return to Russia for getting their space suits as per individual specification. So based on individual specification, they need to get their space suits, mainly to give their measurements. They are mainly returning to or going to Russia. So if you're talking about some important details, it mainly says that, so the space suits, they are being stitched in Russia and they will be coming here to Moscow to undertake tailoring measurements. So here the space suits, they are mainly stitched in Russia and they will be coming to Moscow. So because of this, to give their measurements, here this Air Force people who got already trained, they are going to Russia. So if you're talking about Indo-Russia cooperation, especially in fields like space fields, okay, and Gaganyaan would mainly continue in certain other aspects. So Russia is also helping us with design viewport and as well as even life support system for astronauts. And if you see here, space and nuclear power mainly continue to be the important pillars for cooperation. So important fields or important sectors, we are having good cooperation with Russia here is, so India having a good cooperation with Russia in field of space and nuclear power. So this is the one important prelims fact that you need to remember. And what will be the advantages of this space suit? Why astronomers they need to wear this space suit? Because so these self-contained spaceships, so this will be very much helpful mainly to protect astronauts from extreme temperature and as well as micrometeoroids. And even we can see in space there will be nearly pure vacuum. Okay, so because of this here, spacesuits will be very much helpful mainly for astronauts. And if you are talking about some facts regarding this Gaganyaan mission, so this Gaganyaan mission, it is a mission by ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. And under this Gaganyaan schedule, there are 3 flights will be sent into orbit, and they will be 2 unmanned flights and 1 human spacecraft, okay, in that. And even Gaganyaan system module, it is called as orbital module, and it will have 3 Indian astronauts including a woman. So if you are talking about this mission, so this mission will mainly circle Earth at low Earth orbit. So here we have low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit and as well as high Earth orbit. Okay, so let me know what is the difference between this high Earth orbit, low Earth orbit and as well as medium Earth orbit. That is a homework for you people and don't forget that. Now let us try to see next topic. The title says plasmid DNA vaccine, that is ZyCoV-D, is safe and effective for adolescents. So this article mainly talking about ZyCoV-D vaccine. So this article will be important from health, which comes under GS paper 2. So now let us try to talk about this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that ZyCoV-D, okay, ZyCoV-D is the world's first plasmid DNA vaccine. So this is one important thing. We are using mainly plasmid to transfer this vaccine. So it is because of this, it is called as a first plasmid DNA vaccine for human use. So if you are talking about some important details regarding this vaccine, so this vaccine will be injected into body. So after that, which mainly produces a particular part of virus, and this mainly stimulates this antibodies, or we can say T cell immunity against the virus. And next one is the DNA piece. It is mainly enclosed by a membrane that is called as plasmid. Okay, so DNA which is mainly enclosed in a membrane, it is called as plasmid, and it disintegrates after it has completed its action. And even in phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 trials of this Zycov D, which mainly demonstrated high safety at all the groups. And even in fact, here reactogenicity of the vaccines, there is a fever and as well as pain and even illness. So whatever the thing which we are seeing with other vaccines, so what will be the adverse reaction, or whether we can say like side effects like fever, pain, feeling of illness, they are mainly less when we are comparing to other vaccines in India. So if you are talking about doses, it is given in 3 doses and it is a needleless. There is no need of injecting here, but by using device like jet inject or pharma-jet, so it is mainly delivered and it is also painless. And this one is all 3 doses, they can be given or they will be given in the same manner at interval of 4 weeks each. So now let us try to talk about some facts here. Zydus Candila developed this vaccine. So under the partnership with the Department of Biotechnology. So here which mainly developed under Mission COVID Suraksha, and this scheme mainly implemented by BIRAC, that is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. So if we are talking about this vaccine, it is a 3 dose of vaccine and DNA plasmid based COVID-19 vaccine, and this vaccine mainly injected to body here, such that it can also helps to develop this immune system in our body. So if you are talking about efficacy, it is about 66.6%. So these are some important facts that you need to remember regarding this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says scientists find northernmost landmass. So this is one interesting and also important article from your prelims point of view. So this comes under GS paper 1 under geography. So now let us try to discuss this topic in a very great detail. If you see context, it mainly says that scientists, they have discovered what is believed to be the world's northernmost landmass. So recently scientists, they have discovered world's northernmost landmass, but the name which is yet to be decided actually. So this island, it is north of Greenland, but this land could soon be swallowed up by seawater. So it is one of cause of concern because of climate change. Due to this climate change, whenever Arctic melting is increasing means, so this water that can be swallow this land mass. So if you are talking about details, it mainly says that researchers, they come upon land mass on expeditions which started in July, and initially they thought that they had reached Odok. Okay, Odok. So I don't know how to pronounce this, Udak. Okay, up to until now the northernmost island is on the planet. So if you are talking about this Udak, it is about 700 kilometers south of the North Pole. So if you have North Pole here means, so to this south we are having this Odok. But now new island which mainly identified is about 780 kilometers, okay, to the north from this Odok. Also it is about 780 kilometers upside. So if you see map here, so here we can see this Odok is present. Now to this, okay, now to this more than 780 kilometers we have another island which mainly identified. So now let us try to see next topic. Title says US Navy ships in Taiwan Strait pose threat, China. So this article mainly talking about, we can say it is about Taiwan Strait. So in this Taiwan Strait there is increasing presence of US that is seen. So it is mainly affecting peace and security in this China. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 2 under international relations. So if we talk about context, it mainly says that China's Defense Ministry protected on the passage of US Navy warship and Coast Guard cutter. So Coast Guard cutter and as well as US Navy ship mainly passed through this Taiwan Strait. So this Taiwan Strait which is present between China and as well as Taiwan. Okay, and if you see details, it mainly says that the ministry's website which mainly called for proactive and said it shows that US it is the biggest threat to peace and stability. So it mainly said that US it is the biggest threat to peace and stability, and also creator of security risk in this 160 kilometers wide Taiwan Strait. So here in this context, what is US retaliation? US said that US kit guided missile destroyer and as well as Coast Guard cutter Munro, which mainly sailed through this Taiwan Strait, but it is mainly comes under international waters. So this is the thing which mainly said by US Navy. So if we are talking about some facts regarding this Taiwan Strait, it is also known as Formosa Strait. So this is one important prelims fact. So this Taiwan Strait is also called as Formosa Strait, and it is about 180 kilometers wide strait, which mainly separating China and as well as Taiwan. Okay, and this strait it is mainly currently the part of South China Sea. So this strait which mainly connects East China Sea in north and as well as it will comes under the part of South China Sea. An entire strait is on Asia's continental shelf itself. So these are some important facts that you need to remember. And here we have this South China Sea and here we have East China Sea, and it is mainly connected to this Taiwan Strait. So here we have on one side China and one side we have Taiwan. So this is about map. And now let us try to see next article. Title says lonely flies. So this article mainly talking about recent study which is mainly done on this lone fruit flies. So this will be important regarding GS paper 3 under science and technology. So if you are talking about context, it mainly says that lone fruit flies quarantined in test tubes, they tend to sleep too little and eat too much after only about 1 week of social isolation. So what is the meaning of social isolation? Actually these fruit flies, they will be living in a group. From that group we isolated some of the fruit flies and we are mainly quarantined by using test tubes. So after quarantine, after mainly isolated from their social group, then now they are mainly tend to sleep very much little and as well as eating too much. Okay, after 1 week of social isolation. So here recently a study which mainly to study how chronic separation, that means separation for a long time, what will be the impact on groups. So here in this study they found that there is change in gene expression, neural activity and as well as behavior in flies, which mainly provides one of the first robust animal models that will be helpful for studying of body's biological reaction to loneliness. So if even this is applicable to humans, so whenever, for example, let us take a classical example as you all know that well, I think so. So if you are living in your family together or together with your family members, you will be having some extra joy, extra confidence, right? So whenever to prepare for UPSC, whenever you are moving towards Hyderabad or whenever you are moving towards Bangalore or Delhi here, so you are coming alone, okay? So you will be feeling loneliness feeling once you started living in a separate PG or separate hostels, right? So even when you go to hostel, so for 1 week you will be not getting good sleep and as well as you will be like feeling very much lonely and you will be feeling like missing something, right? So this the same thing we can also see in this lone fruit flies also. So this is about the study and this will be helpful mainly to understand how loneliness will also impact health and what will be the biological reaction that can be seen in our body regarding this loneliness. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says artificial intelligence predicts ice loss. So this article mainly talking about ice loss. So why this ice loss is seen in very much in news? Because what happened due to climate change, increasing of global warming, so whatever the Arctic ice that is present and even in Himalayas, so ice which is mainly melting. So because of melting we can see there is increasing sea level rise. So even one report says that whenever there is increasing of at least 50 centimeters of water, so most of the coastal areas of India will be inundated. So these are the some important reports, or we can say, so these are mainly warning regarding to take urgent measures to control this climate change. So overall this article will be important regarding GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. So now let us try to see context. So if you see context, it mainly says that a new artificial intelligence tool, okay, a new artificial intelligence tool, it is said to enable scientists to more accurately forecast Arctic sea ice. So mainly to forecast Arctic sea ice conditions. So a new artificial intelligence tool mainly set up. So if you're talking about some important details, it mainly says that as per report in Nature Communications, so this report mainly says that the improved prediction that could underpin new early warning system. So whenever we are having proper technology, then we can go for early warning systems. So whenever these early warning systems are present, that will be mainly helpful to protect Arctic wildlife and even coastal communities from impacts of sea loss. So if we are talking about some facts regarding this artificial intelligence ice system, so name of that system is IceNet. So this IceNet will address challenge of producing accurate sea ice forecast. And this one is, if you're talking about this IceNet, it is the artificial intelligence predictive tool and it is almost 95% accurate. So accuracy, it is about 95% of accurate. That will be helpful mainly for predicting of whether sea ice will be present. So what will be the condition of this sea ice for 2 months in before itself, such that we can also take some steps and as well as early warning measures, etc., that will decrease the impact of disaster. And if you're talking about significance, it mainly says that, so if you're talking about especially Arctic region, so Arctic region which is mainly facing much impact from climate change because of substantial warming that had been seen over last 40 years. So IceNet has potential to fill urgent gap in forecasting sea ice for Arctic sustainability efforts and also runs hundreds of thousands of times, which is very much faster than compared to the of traditional methods. So here, how can you expect a question from this topic? So you can get a questions like, what are the applications of artificial intelligence? So in this they will give you some options, and in that options they also include predicting of ice. Yes, now this predicting of ice is also one of important application of artificial intelligence. And you can also expect a question like, recently IceNet is seen in news. So what it is related to? So in this way you can expect the questions in your prelims regarding this topic. And now let us try to see next topic, that is storms across Europe. So this article will be important again from environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So now let us try to see what is given in this article. So this article mainly says that climate experts, they have shown that there will be a significant future increase of occurrence of slow moving intense rainstorms. So this article mainly says that, so climate experts mainly warn that, so there will be in future, there will be increase in occurrence of slow moving intense rainstorms that can be seen across Europe. So this change due to climate change. So if you see some more details, it mainly says that scientists, they have estimated that these slow moving storms, so these slow moving storms, they will be about 14 times more frequent across the land by end of this century, and these storms will lead to heavy precipitation, that is very heavy rainfall accumulations also. So this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. Before seeing this, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. If you want to clear UPSC 2022, we came up with one excellent, highly beneficial and also highly economical course, that is current affairs package along with the mains answer writing practice. So how this course will be useful to clear UPSC 2022? So one thing I want to say here is, before entering into examination hall, you need to know at least 1.5 years current affairs for sure. And this is right time to join this course to cover this 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner. And next one, it is about mains answer writing practice. So many students, they ignore this means answer writing practice, and they will be thinking like after completing NCERTs we are going to start that, after completing standard books we are going to start that. But this approach will not be working for UPSC, because within 3 hours of time you need to answer 20 questions. On an average you will be getting 7 to 7.5 minutes for one question. So now you can imagine how much fast you should be and how much practiced you should be. So here in this course you can answer about more than 300 questions and more than 50 essays. So in this way you will be getting a good practice of this mains answers, okay, and this will be also helpful mainly to improve your answer writing skills. And next one is, if you join this course, we also conduct prelims test on every Sunday at 10 o'clock, and we also provide a video explanation part. So in this way, this course which is designed as per demand of UPSC. So finally I want to say one thing, please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing UPSC. So details of this course which is given in description box, so please see that once. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can call to this number 8074765513. Okay, now let's come back and let us see next topic. Title says BCG vaccine 100 years and counting. So this article mainly talking about BCG vaccine, and this will be important from science and technology and also even from health point of view. If you see context, it mainly says that the centenary celebrations of the discovery of insulin have been eclipsed another seminal event. Okay, so that event is the BCG vaccine. Okay, so BCG mainly stands for Bacillus calamity guarin. So this vaccine is against tuberculosis in humans. So if you are talking about some facts regarding this BCG vaccine, it is Bacillus calamity guarin vaccine. So it is a vaccine primarily used against tuberculosis. And in countries where this TB or leprosy is common, so one dose is recommended in healthy babies and also close to the time of birth as possible. And the areas with tuberculosis, they are very much common. Okay, only children at high risk, they are typically immunized, and while suspected cases of this tuberculosis, they are individually tested and even treated. So if you are talking about some more facts regarding this tuberculosis, so this TB mainly caused by bacteria. So name of that bacteria is Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and it mainly belongs to Mycobacteriaceae family, and this family mainly contains 200 members. So some of these mainly causes TB, some causes leprosy in humans. And if you are talking about this mycobacteria, they are widely dispersed in our environment. In humans, the TB, it is almost commonly affecting lungs like pulmonary TB, okay, and even will also attacks other organs like extrapulmonary TB. Even I can get TB, okay, you will be surprising if you know this, but even I can get TB. So if you are talking about some important facts here, so currently this BCG vaccine, Bacillus calamity guarin vaccine, it is only licensed and available for prevention of TB. It is only available and prevention for TB. And if you are talking about, it is the world's most widely used vaccine, and with about 120 million doses per every year, and it is one of excellent safety record. It has excellent safety record also. So in India, BCG was first introduced in a limited scale in year 1948, and later on this mainly became the part of our national TB control program in 1962. And BCG, it also works well in some geographical locations. For example, whenever the country which is farther towards equator, so if you see here we have equator, so countries which are farther to this equator, so in these countries we can see efficacy which is very much high than compared to countries which are very much located near to the equator. So this is one important thing. Why? Because there is high prevalence of environmental mycobacteria in this equator like regions, like for example India, Kenya, Malawi, etc. So finally, author mainly says that India committed to eliminate tuberculosis as a public health problem by 2025. To achieve this target, to achieve this goal, we need to do some better diagnostics, we need to come up with better diagnostics and even drugs, and also we need more effective vaccines. So this is a gist of this topic, and I hope it is clear. So these are some important articles which appeared in today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and one more thing is, for the PDF of this session you can join the Telegram channel link which is given in description box. So by this we are concluding. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. Thank you so much. And don't forget to enroll to this current affairs package.